Hey guys, this is DJ Andy of Direct Disco Services. Today what I'm doing is a video based on how to start your DJing business, looking at it from how I started and a bit of my background of how I got into all this and the reasons why I did it. Firstly, about 10 years ago I was looking for something to do on the side as a business, and I could create another income when I was a bit quiet in my other business, and it was something that you could do at the weekends rather than during the week and just generate a bit of extra cash to keep your turnover and your cash flow going. So I just looked into starting the DJing business primarily for parties and things of that nature like weddings, but it took years and years to develop a reputation, and it took a long time to get the equipment to where it is now, based on weekend bookings and that kind of income. So it had to be subsidised by my other business, but I had to make a start somewhere, and this is basically how I did it. And these days I think it's probably a hell of a lot easier than it was 10 years ago because of the internet and the way it's formed, and it's just so easy to access the internet in the sense of the apps that you can get on your phones and things like that. You can just buy things, you can promote yourself a lot better than you could do 10 years ago. You basically just had websites to deal with, and they were really only just getting going at that point. And that's how I generated business from the website. I started out basically in pubs and things like that just to get the money coming in. But basically this is going to be step one, and what we need to look at is what do you do to start off with. The first thing I did was look at equipment. Now I used eBay, and basically I bought a PA system off another guy who had bought this for his sons and their band, and there was just like a small mixer which was this big and a couple of speakers and an amplifier, and that was it. It cost me 150 quid and that was it, and I basically built it up from there. They weren't that good, there was lots of feedback, but I didn't have any gigs, I didn't have anything to really test them out on. I just did friends parties and things like that. So what you really need to be looking at, and you really need to research this now, is speakers, PA system, lighting. Try and get the best deals you can. There are lots and lots of places, especially on eBay, that will set up packages just to get you going, and they are really cheap. And you know, for about £500 at this present time you could probably set something up basic just to get you moving and going. But you do need to research the speakers that you're buying and make sure you don't buy rubbish, because you will get what you pay for in this life, and you really do not want to be at a gig and have your equipment blowing up on you and things of that nature. Otherwise you will be the biggest tit in the world on that stage or wherever you are. So you can just look on places like eBay. There's a lot of businesses that now use that as a platform to sell their items, but they do have their own websites, and it is important to read reviews of everything that you buy on them. If you haven't got a review, then get on YouTube and look for somebody who's already reviewed it, especially another DJ. If another DJ has got it and they have reviewed it and they have given you their honest opinion, you will know whether that is something that you need, rather than just buying it and then throwing it straight out there into the general public and looking like a right tit when it goes tits up with you. So that's the first thing you need to look at is the equipment. You can buy second hand, you can buy from other DJs, but it is used and it's probably knackered by now. And speakers are one of them things, it depends who's been using them and what they are being used for, as there's different types of speakers you can buy. You've got your passive speakers, which require an amplifier, so you need the correct amplifier to power the speakers. Something else you need to research. And then there are active speakers, which have amplifiers built into each speaker, which power the speakers, and they are perfectly matched up for that purpose, which the active ones are getting more popular now because it's a lot easier to use them, and they are really good to be using at your gigs and things like that. You don't need the amplifier anymore, so you can pretty much just turn up and you put them on the stands or whatever you're using, and they will just go all night. And if one goes, you've still got the other one to fall back on. Whereas if your amplifier blows up, then you are stuck for sound basically. So if you've gone through my gig logs, you will have noticed that I have two speakers obviously, and sometimes I have two subunits at the bottom. These are PVs. There's 1400 watts in total at the mid-range, I should say. They can pump a little bit more out than that if you push them, and I don't generally do that, but I use the subs in large events. So if I'm in a big room, the subs will go with me. If I'm in a small room, I'll just take the tops because it's quite ample enough to do. So you need to look at subwoofers as well as just normal speakers, because you need to look at the actual places you will be going to do your gigs and parties and things like that. So once you've researched your PA equipment, you can decide what you need for what you're doing basically, because there's no good just buying a couple of speakers that aren't powerful enough to broadcast the music you're playing, to hear your voice through. And especially if you're doing things like karaoke and people want to sing, they're very fussy about how it sounds through them speakers, and they can basically complain, you know. So basically you need to research. Don't forget to read the reviews of these, and don't forget to get the best deals you can from these companies. Like I said, they're all on eBay now, so they'll offer you packages, because you can buy packages of speakers with leads and mixers and stands and everything, and when you add all that up together, you could probably save about 20-25% of what you would normally spend. You'd be surprised how much leads cost for decent ones. So it's sometimes worth looking at that as well, rather than just rushing out and buying something and then finding out you need leads and where your stands. Once you've bought your equipment, then you're aware, you can get practicing, you can get your music out there, you can start telling people what you're doing, you can get you some gigs in, and you'll be aware before long, and you can build on that equipment then. And that is basically how I did it from the beginning. So the first thing we're going to say is, this is step one. You're building your foundation for your business, and that foundation is based on your PA equipment and your lighting. And don't forget to read the reviews, don't forget to check everything out on YouTube, don't forget the manufacturers on their own websites to read the specifications correctly, so that you know what you're getting and you know what to expect when you've got it. And the best thing that you could do is, like I said, is to get on YouTube and see if there's anybody else using that equipment, so that you can get an honest opinion from somebody who is not trying to sell it to you, if you see what I'm saying. Anyway, I hope you found this video informative, and I hope you keep on liking and subscribing to the video, and thank you for watching. Drop tonight.